So fun. Just love playing in Moody, making memories with these girls. We talked a lot before the match about gratitude and relationships and things that are priceless in life. And you cannot buy your way on to the team, right? Like, these girls have worked. You can't buy being a great player. You have to put in work. And we just want to relish in the final sprint of this season. So I thought that was a fun match. Set one, not how we wanted to start, but it wasn't for lack of effort. We needed to make some adjustments and play a little bit better small ball. But I'm really just excited for Nady, because she at one point was just dominating, like truly taking over the match. I mean, number 10 for Miami, we have to give her props, 30 kills. If she's the player for them, clearly, Nady, it's hard to not talk about what she did for us tonight. Just blocking and slowing balls down. I think her first career double-double. I'm just so excited because her ceiling is very high. And I think, I could be wrong, this is the first year where you really run a ton of slides.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's crushing slides, crushing them, and hitting them from such a high point, and it's so just physical and dominating. And so there's just... all these pro coaches, somebody should draft her because she's legit. Because she can M2, M1, slide. She can hit any set that you throw at her. She's gonna go find a way to do it. And then this one, come on. She's just good at everything, almost like just quietly good at everything. So, but it really was a team win because we made a lot of adjustments and a lot of different people were doing different things. So. Really proud, and Miami is very good. I think in set one, I was like, man, this is going to be tough because they are skilled, heavy arms, they can pass, their coach is amazing, he's making all the right adjustments. So I was a little worried after set one, but I'm glad we pulled it out.
I asked Nady this on the air, but from your perspective, what was the most important thing said between set one and set two when you guys went off to yourselves?
What do you guys think?
I feel like we noticed that we weren't playing how we normally play, like going at it, like full, like throttle kind of. So we did discuss that, and we went out really hard, and it showed in how we played and dominated that second set, and then continued that throughout the match.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. We just weren't really playing our game on our side of the net, but I was also just going to say our energy-wise. We pointed that out, and we said, it's probably a little bit quieter in the gym today with the fans, but that can't affect our game, and we got to create our energy on our side of the net.
Mm-hmm. What are some key skill adjustments that you'll have to make versus the Miami, specifically how they were playing tonight?
Mm-hmm. Man, there was a million. So we had to find a way to slow down that BIC. I don't know if we actually did, but so we started serving short in front of the BIC to take her out of that. They ended up figuring that out, but in set two, I thought that was the difference in set two. Serving short in front of the BIC. We needed to adjust our small ball game. That's more of like an execution on small ball, meaning like all the tight net stuff and reaching high and getting tooled, and we just needed to change that. We flipped our lefts, so normally our L1, we flipped her to L2 so that she could be in front of 23, but we could still start in row 1. So that was an adjustment that we have not. We may have done that one other time this year. Jams Wheeler came out, started serving, and did she even miss one serve?
I don't think so.
And so she doesn't normally serve for us, and just giving them that different look. So it was quite the chess game, and I felt like they were making a ton of adjustments too, other than just feeding 10 the ball. But they were tipping short. They were bringing 18 in to pass the short balls once they figured out we were wanting to do that. And so it was a pretty high-level match in regards to that, just having to make a lot of adjustments. So I thought our girls did a nice job executing on it.
She's not here right now, but Natalie Foster, she's
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She played like a beast in that second set.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the impact that she had on the game overall, but especially in that second?
Well, her serve tonight really helped us a lot. So 4 aces, 3 errors on 17 attempts. So that to me is what stands out the most, is she went on some really timely service runs for us, especially when we started serving, sending her down the line. And, they were calling timeouts and wiping the floor and tying their shoe and blowing their nose and doing everything they could. And I'm not, hey, it's gamemanship, do your thing. But they pulled 4 people back to try to pass her. So I really think that, to me, just off the cuff stands out. But she's got a heavy arm, so people just have to respect her, whether she's really on or not. But she's still, what did she do here? So not her best offensive night, but you have to respect her because her arm is so good. So I think maybe that's what she brings the most, and just been a cornerstone player for us.
When a team is doing that and trying to break momentum on a service run, I saw, obviously you're talking to the officials about it. Is there any recourse at all?
Yeah, I mean, they were carded for it eventually. Like, you're going to take a delay. I don't know exactly what they took the delay for. I don't think it was in that moment, but you're going to take a delay and then you're going to get carded. And so, yeah, that's your recourse. You just need to have officials that manage the match, and I thought they did a good job managing the match.
Miami was hitting really, really hard in that first set. They just came out crazy. What did you say in that first timeout to your team to really get you guys to regroup? Because, like you said, the energy did seem a little bit off, and then obviously for the rest of the game, it was on. What do you say to your team as a coach and as players to get?
I'll be real quick, and then they can talk about what they all said too, because it was probably a little more team led. I told them, I think it's not for lack of effort. It's not a character and integrity issue. And at times it is. Hey, we need to be better. It is a privilege to be here, and we need to be better. But it wasn't that. It was just a lull in our energy. So there's that. But then we were mostly focusing on the adjustments of some of the small ball stuff, because we were getting tooled early on the back row, just tit for tat little points that are hard to. You're just giving away dumb stuff, and you don't want to do that. So we talked about that, and then I think they kind of chatted. So maybe one of y'all can talk about it.
I had something and I just blanked. I think, that's what I was going to say. That just, any team that we play in the ACC, they're going to be a good team, and we have to respect every single team that we play. So I think we kind of get down on ourselves, when they make those big plays or have those big swings. And early on in the first set, I think that's kind of what got into our heads a little bit. But then it was just coming together and being hey, they are good. They're going to make these big plays, but we just got to respect them and move on to the next point.
That was good.
Both Nady and Natalie did really well tonight, and it seemed like Silly Cullen was really feeding y'all maybe more than in a couple of the past games. Was this part of the game plan, or just a situation kind of when Coach Herger says repeat what works?
Yeah, I do think it was part of the game plan. Sam was saying let's set the middles more and set the right side more, and we were able to execute, and I feel like we did disrupt them on their side a lot with how we were setting and just finding kills.
Yeah, once that slide started going off, and then they honestly got a few blocks in the end in the fourth set, and then I never want middles in particular to feel upset about getting blocked. I think that's part of just being a middle. You're going up, taking a big strong rip, and sometimes someone's going to dive into your gap and they're going to get you. But she was killing the slide, so we were do it more. And then when they got her on, I think we tried to run a 6, and they kind of sniffed it out, and that's a tight slide behind. Then we moved her to a gap, and I thought the maturity to not let that get her down, and that's next level. So.
Thanks.
Just like you talked about, limited time left in the season. As you build up towards the NCAA tournament, what do you see as the things that you most want this team to improve upon to be ready for round one?
Well, I probably slowing down a hitter like number 10 is going to be important. You're going to see more hitters like that in the NCAA tournament. And sometimes you're not always going to slow them down, but we blocking is a skill that we're spending a lot of time on lately. So probably that, mostly blocking. We've put a lot of eggs in that basket, and most players don't come out of high school and club training that a ton. And then there's a physicality barrier, where you're really only able to train it at a high level depending on how high you are. And we've got plenty of physical kids that now we're really trying to work on dive moves, and just touching everything is the philosophy. But some of these girls, it's their first maybe time in their career where we really focus on training that, because in club, high school, it's just not something they focus on. So probably that, just being able to slow a player down, and and I think also just being able to run different things to get clean looks once teams have you figured out. I do think if that would have went into a fifth set, thank God it didn't, but we would have needed to run some rips or get our outsides it started the match that way where they were touching everything on our lefts. And then we went away from our lefts and we found some success, and then we were forced into kind of going back to them as they're serving us tough, and we found some kills, but we're just got to continue to work on other ways to find daylight.